Hello everyone, and welcome back to another hay bale, straw bale garden on the As the Rooster Crows channel. It's been a pretty rainy weekend, and Melissa is inside. She did a couple of cooking videos, and now she's canning green beans, and then after that she has to can grapes. So I told her once again I would come out here and do the garden update. The peppers still haven't done much. You can really tell the difference though. Remember when I got bales for this, I bought all the bales they had of this type right here, and then I had to go and get more bales, and those were just straight straw bales, but they were a lot looser. And you can see that these are really deteriorating and just degrading and almost like falling apart. They really are quite loose. These bales here we can definitely get a second year out of. The other ones, like look at this one where nothing grew in it, how it's just completely rotting away. These over here will probably have to be replaced next spring. I guess we'll start over here this time on this end. We're still getting a lot of squash. We got a bunch of these bigger zucchinis. Melissa actually just did one of the cooking videos that she did is what are they called? Shrimp zucchini boats. It was absolutely delicious. If I remember, I'll put the link right here, and if not, I'll put it at the end of the video. That was really good. I was surprised. It was keto friendly too, but I really enjoyed that meal. And you can see the squash end here. They're starting to look sickly. We're into August right now. That's what happens. By the time we get to the end of August, beginning of September, most of the garden is pretty much done as far as squash and potatoes, onions, all that stuff. Well, you know, you'll get a few fleeting squash that'll pop up, but by then it'll be pretty much done. These are pretty neat here. They're a zucchini, but they're variegated. I've never seen those before. We haven't ate them yet, but even the leaves on that were variegated. Now they're definitely dying down here, but that was interesting. Still lots of squash coming. It's not like we're going to be done with squash here in a week, but I'm just saying that the plants are definitely showing that summer is coming to an end. With the tomato plants here, I don't know what to say. I mean, I've never grown them in bales before. These are doing absolutely terrific. I mean, the plants are nice dark green, they're vigorous, they're healthy. She has a ton of tomatoes on here, nothing ripe yet, but we're getting, you know, within the next couple weeks they'll start to get ripe. All these are the cherry type tomatoes. We're getting a lot of those on there. Yeah, it's just going to be a great tomato harvest. Definitely going to want to be doing some salsa, and I haven't had a BLT in a long time, and I'm kind of looking forward to one of those. Down here you can see she's got some nice bigger ones started. I mean, look at all of them in here. It's just, I'm just amazed at how good they're doing in the bales. And these are the bales that are falling apart, you know, and they're still holding up. So, pretty nice. Even the tomatoes over here, which we just put in pots, these were the extra ones. They were the ones that got frost burn really bad. And the plants look horrible compared to the other ones. But still, look at all the tomatoes. These over here, they somebody called them ground cherries, I think. I don't want to reach in there to get the little thing because more of these will fall off, but let's see if I can get one. Oh, here's a couple. You're not supposed to harvest these off the plant. You're supposed to wait till they fall off, and they come in this little, I don't know, reminds me of almost like an oriental lamp. And then inside you pull it and it's got this in there. They're really good. I don't know what these ones are supposed to taste like. They're kind of sweet, kind of citrusy. Anyway, there's a ton of them on here. Look at that. See all of them on there? And they're all over everywhere. And they're really good. This was a new plant I've never seen before, and this is probably one of the more exciting plants. because they taste good. and they grew awesome in the bales too. It's just amazing. And just like with the other ones, I mean, the plants don't look good, but she's got a ton of jalapeno peppers. So making salsa will be nice. The onions, as you can see, they're starting to fall over. Once about 80% of your onions start to fall over, you should then help the other ones out and push them over to stop the growing process. And then we'll let them sit for a week or so, and then we're going to pull them. A couple things that I learned with the onions. I planted them 3 inches apart, which you can do. That's the tightest you can go and get a good yield of onions. But what I didn't think about was you can't reach in there to weed once they're about this tall or you'll push them over. So these have had to fight the weeds. Another thing that I learned doing them this year, I got called inside for a minute because Melissa had a question on the pressure canner. She's using the one that I always used, and she just had a question about where the pressure had to be. But another thing that I learned, these got planted a little bit later than they should have, just like the potatoes did, just the way, setting everything up, and that's just the way it worked out. And a lot of these onions, not all of them, but a bunch of them, especially the yellows and then the reds or whatever these are, ended up having the big, like the stem is big where it hits the actual onion. Small like this here or this here, which is more normal, versus this. This is a fine onion, but they tend to not last as long in storage when they have this big bottom base of whatever you want to call this, where it meets the onion bulb. And I'm pretty sure that's due to the fact that they were planted a little bit later than they should have, because like here's another one with a pretty big bottom. And the fact that they had to fight the weeds. That was just my fault. At the hobby farmhouse, I've planted onions. I've done them 6 inches apart, and that sucked because I couldn't get I used the loop hoe and I couldn't get it in between there. So then I stopped and went to like a foot apart. And this one is like, let's see how many onions we can get. And we have a lot of onions, but I will do it differently next year. I need to be able to get there and weed, because onions hate fighting with the weeds. And I can just tell some of these, I mean, that's a nice onion, but it's a smaller onion. It could have been bigger. It seems like as the season has went on, the peppers have done a little better. Some of them for sure. I mean, I don't know. I think those are just banana peppers. I don't know if they're a hot banana or a sweet banana. But that plant is looking really good. The eggplants, they never did have any problem in the bales. Like, look at this one right here. Almost ready to harvest. That's not a, I can't remember the kind. I just picked one at the hobby farmhouse. Anyway, these are the ones that are more long and slender versus the eggplant that looks like a great big egg. But the plants are doing real healthy. Definitely getting some eggplants on there. Not sure what this is. It looks like a cucumber to me. Let's see, what is this? No, I don't think that's a cucumber. I guess we will have to wait for the next update to see what that is. I'm sure Melissa knows, but I just don't see anything that I can really tell. There's little fruits, I just don't know what they are. The cucumbers and the melons, I don't know what kind of melon this is. I mean, look at that. There's that one. There's a couple of them that are growing on here. There's another one over here. Anyway, all of this is doing absolutely beautifully. Down here, these are, by the looks of it, this watermelon, and they are doing fantastic also. No fruit yet on the actual watermelon ones, but I definitely think that there will be soon. As far as cucumbers, take your pick. They're all over in here. It's a couple different varieties. This is more of a pickling type, but we don't make pickles. But this one was a high yield, and we really are getting high yields. We're constantly harvesting these. And the other ones over here, which is more of the type that we like to slice. We like to slice them, put them in a bowl or on a plate, put some salad dressing over them, and just have them as a side during a meal. And then here we have all the green beans. I mean, them plants are doing awesome. I see that, like there's one bean right there that could be harvested for the slow start that they had. I mean, look at that. there's going to be a lot of them, which is good because we just started canning stuff, and beans are one of the favorite things to can. Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. She has a load of beans right now in the canner. We should have come out here and I picked those at the hobby farmhouse, but look at that. That bean is ready to go. More canning to do this week. We have broccoli here. I didn't think we'd get anything with the broccoli, and look at that. There's a head started right there. Head started right here. We're definitely going to get broccoli. That's really awesome. Definitely want to do some mulching in here next year because there's no way to get in here once everything gets big. I didn't anticipate everything going so crazy like this. And the thistles just love to grow here. So I'll probably do some sort of mulch. You can see here the cabbage is starting to roll. This was a late cabbage. I wasn't sure in this lower zone 3, close to zone 4, but still zone 3 area if the late cabbage would make it. But I mean, look at that. We still have at least a solid month of good growing here, so we should be doing all right. The potato plants are all dying back right now, so it's definitely time. A lot of these could be dug. I mean, right here, we're not going to get any more out of that plant. So I can definitely dig these up and see how they did. It looks like we're going to get one head of cauliflower here. I just cut 6 or 8 of them and brought them up here from the other garden, but it's nice to know that they will grow in the hay bales. The lemongrass, I thought that was dead, and I can see we got a little bit. And I mean, I've seen that stuff just flourish, so I was hoping that'll grow and we can transplant it somewhere else and we'll get these just big bushy lemongrass that's supposed to help keep mosquitoes away and everything. Herb gardens, they're doing good. I've been out here and harvested some of this for cooking already. The kohlrabi, it's growing. It's fighting weeds. I've never weeded in there. They don't like containers, but they are growing. Right now they're about at the small size where you'd want to harvest them. I like to wait till they get about twice that size. When in actuality, that is probably about the size you're supposed to harvest them at. I always wait till they get bigger. Well, I was thinking about digging up a potato here just to see how they're doing, but I'm going to wait. The mosquitoes just came out and they are eating me up. The raspberries are still producing raspberries. You can see right there, we did not harvest any this weekend. We were picking and picking and picking, and then last weekend we went up to the tent. And we have just been too busy this weekend, plus it rained a lot. So, but we do have a lot of them in the freezer. We might get out here in the next couple days, and I mean, you can come out here and it takes about 20 to 25 minutes to pick about 6.5 cups is what that size of that pail is. So we might get some. I have to get in here and mow, but Melissa checked about 3 days ago for strawberries and there weren't any. They're pretty much done producing now. They were, you know, their season is over. Now they're just making the little runners. Rhubarb continues to do just great. So I do need to get it. I can't wait to mulch this area. This one here, it really needs to be mulched. Okay, everyone. Well, thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will see you guys on the next video.